Welcome to the 1993 model overview for Buick. This know-how will give you a quick tour of the new features you'll find in the 1993 Buick model lineup. We'll cover updates on 6 big Buick performers: Skylark, Century, Regal, LeSabre, Park Avenue, and Roadmaster. In addition to new product features, you'll see some changes that are coming in diagnostic and service procedures. Let's start with a look at a new Skylark model. In '93, Buick is introducing a middle-level Skylark, the Skylark Custom. This Skylark Custom features thinner body side moldings for a leaner, sporty look. And a new instrument cluster is standard on Skylark Custom. Skylarks equipped with the quad overhead cam engine now have a 2.53 to 1 drive axle ratio, up from 2.84 to 1. The new gearing provides improved fuel economy. Another change for Skylark is the battery rundown protection system. Battery rundown protection combines 2 independent functions: parasitic power control and inadvertent power control. Both functions are controlled by Skylark's multifunction alarm module. The parasitic power control output of the multifunction alarm module controls the supply of battery keep alive voltage to the electronic brake control module, the instrument cluster, the radio, and the remote keyless entry module. All of these components continue to consume battery power when the key is off. And if a car is idle for long periods of time, the current drain from these components can run down the battery severely. The multifunction alarm module uses vehicle speed input to count miles driven. Depending on the total number of miles on the vehicle, the alarm module interrupts keep alive voltage in one of 2 ways if the car is left unattended. Vehicles with less than 15 total miles are usually either in transit or in dealer storage, and they're highly susceptible to drain on the lot. For these vehicles, a timer in the alarm module interrupts keep alive voltage if the car isn't driven for 3 days. For those vehicles with more than 15 total miles, keep alive voltage is interrupted if the car is parked for 24 days. Parasitic power control is fine for handling those components that are intended to stay powered. But what about things like interior lights? For these, the '93 Skylark also features inadvertent power control. Interior lights powered through the alarm module's inadvertent power control output include the rear quarter lights, the vanity mirror, reading lights, the IP, and the luggage compartment lights. If there are less than 15 total miles on the car, the lights are shut off after 2 to 4 minutes. If the vehicle has more than 15 total miles, the alarm module shuts off power to these interior lights 18 to 22 minutes after the ignition is shut off. The system timer can be reset several ways. You can open or close either of the front doors, turn the ignition switch to run, or turn off any interior lights that were left on. Also, disconnecting the battery resets the mileage counter in the alarm module. Buick Century is renowned as a quality premium car. In fact, J.D. Power rates the Buick Century plant in Oklahoma City #1 for building quality cars in North America. Let's take a look at the '93 Century. A driver's side airbag is standard on the Century Limited and Custom models and optional on the Century Special. And a knee bolster has been added to the lower dash on the driver's side. A status light has been added to the instrument panel. The light reads airbag and flashes when the ignition is turned to either run or start. The light should go out after a few seconds, indicating that the self-check was successful and the system is ready. The 1993 Regal sedan has a restyled front end and comes equipped with a number of features designed to increase customer satisfaction. Several refinements have been made to improve the performance of Regal's optional 3800 engine. We'll take a closer look at the enhanced 3800 later in the program. Regals equipped with the optional 3800 also receive a larger muffler for improved sound quality during engine warm-up. 93 Regals with the optional 3800 come with a 4T60E electronically shifted transaxle, a combination that gives the Regal the same smooth shift characteristics that are trademarks of Park Avenue and LaSabre. And Regal now uses new extended life brake linings for longer service life. Also in the 93 Regal, illuminated entry has been added to Buick's keyless entry system. And automatic door locks are now standard on Regal. The 93 Regal is also equipped with separate indicator lights for each headlamp function. These indicators can be monitored at a glance. Like the Regal, the 1993 LeSabre comes equipped with the new enhanced 3800 engine. LeSabre Custom and Limited now have the Tevis anti-lock system as a standard feature. The 93 LeSabre Limited is also equipped with the variable effort steering, or TFE system. The 1993 Park Avenue also improves on that special Buick level of quality. New in 93 is automatic ride control, optional on both Park Avenue and Buick Ultra, but not available with either Grand Touring suspension or trailer towing packages. It operates much like the computer command ride system that was introduced on the 92 Skylark, and it uses similar components. However, this system is totally automatic. The system controls the Park Avenue ride by adjusting fluid flow in the front and rear struts. Ride is adjusted to one of 3 positions according to vehicle speed and driving conditions, such as sharp turns or dips. The automatic settings are firm ride for sportier handling, comfort ride for a soft response, and normal Dyna ride for a medium ride. Firm ride is automatically selected between 0 and 8 miles per hour, comfort ride is triggered between 8 and 32 miles per hour, and normal ride is triggered between 32 and 65 miles per hour. Firm ride is triggered again above 65 miles per hour. The automatic ride control module and lateral acceleration switch are mounted below the driver's seat. The lateral acceleration switch is a mercury switch that detects abrupt changes in lateral motion. When the vehicle corners or dips sharply, the mercury completes the ground circuit to the module. The automatic ride control module senses this completed circuit and delivers a command signal that controls the firmness of the ride. Inside each strut is an electric actuator which rotates a selector valve to specific positions according to the output signal of the automatic ride control module. The selector valve contains different size orifices that regulate fluid flow to control the strut's firmness or dampening rate. The selector valve uses the larger orifice size to soften the ride and the smaller orifice size for a firmer ride. The actuators are integral parts of the struts and can't be serviced directly. For diagnosis, trouble codes are stored in the automatic ride control module. These trouble codes are read by grounding pin C on the data link connector, or DLC, and observing the flashing LED on the side of the module. Trouble code charts are provided in the service manual. In the near future, you'll also be able to use the Tech 1 to get automatic ride control diagnostic information. Now, let's look at the 93 Roadmaster. It's an American classic, the paragon of luxury, roominess, and distinction. For 93, the front door opening angle has been reduced to 45 degrees. This makes it easier to reach an open door from a seated position. An electrochromatic rear-view mirror replaces the electronic compass on the 93 Roadmaster. And power window lockout capability is a standard feature for added safety and peace of mind. Another 40 millimeters has been added to the front seat track, allowing more legroom in the front passenger compartment. Now let's look at that new 3800. The 3800 L27 engine was renowned for smooth power delivery, reliable performance, and long-term durability. And a new enhanced 3800 engine delivers even more smooth power to Buick's 93 Regal, LeSabre, and Park Avenue models. Although it remains designated as L27, the 93 3800 offers a number of refinements over its predecessor, including more torque output and reduced friction. For example, the 3800 now sports a composite upper intake manifold. The new design increases intake turbulence, and this means fuel is atomized more efficiently. The new intake manifold design is made from a 33% glass-reinforced nylon composite that reduces engine mass by 7 pounds. And this nylon composite has another plus. It's recyclable. Clock and lock assembly is another feature of this new manifold assembly, and built-in gaskets make a quick, tight seal. Low-friction roller rocker arm pivots and lightweight pistons are other modifications in the new 3800. Horsepower remains unchanged. An ample 170 horsepower is available at 4,800 RPM. However, torque is increased by 5 pounds, increasing 220 foot-pounds at 3,200 RPM to 225. A modified piston dome design reduces the area of the combustion chamber when the piston is at top dead center. This reduced squish height increases compression ratio from 8.5 to 1 to 9 to 1. Exhaust manifolds on the new 3800 are manufactured using a two-piece design. The pieces are welded at the joint. This reduces the number of stress points on the individual cylinder runners. And the life of exhaust valves is improved because the new manifold relieves back pressure. The manifold design also has an insulated crossover pipe. This feature reduces noise and improves the dispersion of heat to the catalytic converter, meaning faster converter light-off. The knock sensor is relocated on the 3800 to improve its sensitivity. The result is increased accuracy for spark timing adjustments. The 93 3800 is also equipped with a new crankshaft sensor. The enhanced sensor uses stronger magnets. Also, the gaps between the rings have been widened. The greater clearance reduces the chances of damage during servicing and operation. The harmonic balancer has also been modified to complement the sensor. And the 3800 is also fitted with a new heated oxygen sensor. This provides faster warm-ups, greater accuracy, and longer life. This new oxygen sensor has 2 additional wires, a sensor heater current supply, and ground. Enhanced 3800 engines are now equipped with digital EGR valves to further reduce exhaust emissions. Now, let's spend a moment to explore a special section in our program, our Diagnostics Update. We'll begin with a look at some changes in terminology. Together with other GM divisions, Buick is complying with a Society of Automotive Engineers recommendation for an industry-wide standard for diagnostic terms and definitions. This is required by the California Air Resources Board starting in 1993, and it's also required by the Federal Clean Air Act of 1990. Let's look at a few of these changes. The ALDL is now called the DLC, or Data Link Connector. Computer-controlled coil ignition, or C3I, is now called electronic ignition, or EI. The coolant temperature sensor, or CTS, is now called the engine coolant temperature sensor, or ECT sensor. The electronic spark control, or detonation sensor, is now known simply as the NOx sensor, or KS. And a diagnostic circuit check is now called an onboard diagnostic system check, or OBD system check. A direct ignition system, or DIS, is now called an electronic ignition system, or EI system. Now, let's take a look at some other emissions-related changes that will affect Buick's onboard computers. Buick's onboard computers, the engine and powertrain control modules, are programmed to ensure maximum fuel economy and minimum exhaust emissions during vehicle operation. But every time updates were required, a new PROM had to be designed, manufactured, shipped, and replaced by hand. 2 new systems for Buick, SPS, the Service Programming System, and double EEPROM programming now offer the ability to reprogram the engine control module through the vehicle's data link connector. If your dealership services other GM vehicles, you may already be familiar with double EEPROM programming. These systems allow updating an ECM without removing it from a vehicle. You're now able to completely replace calibrations that control engine timing, fuel delivery, and other operations. The advantages are clear. No need to order or stock special parts, and less service time. Engine control modules with these special PROMs are called reprogrammable control modules. Reprogrammable control modules are appearing on some models starting in 1993 and will be phased in during subsequent model years. There are 3 methods for programming these control modules: direct, remote, and off-board programming. We'll only touch on the different methods today. Look for more detailed information in an upcoming CPT program. Direct programming is accomplished by connecting a TechLine terminal directly to a vehicle's DLC. The new calibrations are then programmed directly into the onboard module. You can use either the T190, T170, T120, T100, T50, or the T20 for direct programming. If you have a choice, direct programming is definitely the best method. It requires fewer steps and it's much faster. Remote programming first uses a Tech1 to obtain data from the vehicle's reprogrammable control module. Next, the Tech1 is connected to a TechLine terminal where new calibrations are loaded into the Tech1. Then, the Tech1 is again connected to the vehicle's DLC to program the control module. Using the Tech1 for remote programming will require a new type of cartridge, the mass storage cartridge, or MSC. This new mass storage cartridge requires programming as well. Off-board programming is performed when the vehicle is not available. For example, an independent repair facility may need to replace an ECM. The service replacement ECM must be programmed or the vehicle won't run properly or may not start. Off-board programming can be performed using either direct or remote programming methods. In either case, a special off-board programming adapter, or OBPA, must be used. Now, let's look at some changes in air conditioning. Buick has offered AC for many years, and the chief refrigerant used in AC systems has been R12. R12 seemed the ideal choice. It was non-corrosive and non-poisonous. But R12 contains chlorofluorocarbons, or CFCs, and CFCs have been attributed with depleting the Earth's ozone layer. In fact, the problem with our ozone layer is so pressing that the United Nations agreed on a plan to eliminate the production of CFCs across the world. Starting with some late-year models, Buick is replacing R12 with another refrigerant called R134A. R134A is free of CFCs. R134A is being introduced in 1993, and by 1996, it will be used across the board. Since quite a few cars will have the older R12 systems for some time, you need to know some important differences between the two AC systems. First of all, it's important to understand that R12 and R134A can't be mixed. The two refrigerants have different boiling points and discharge pressures. Also, the lubricant for one system won't work in the other. The R12 system uses a mineral-based oil as its lubricant. This oil combines with the R12 and is carried throughout the AC system, coating all the internal parts. But 134A uses a synthetic oil called polyalkylene glycol, or PAG. The two lubricants are incompatible, so contaminating one type of refrigerant with the other can mean costly repairs. Also, as many as 4 different types of PAG oils will be used. And these different PAG oils can't be mixed. So when adding PAG oil, make sure you follow the specifications listed on the compressor. A good way to prevent contamination is to separate any tools used for servicing these different systems. You'll find the service valves used in the R134A systems are quite different from the Schrader valves used on R12 systems. The 134A systems use quick connect primary seal valves. Also, new labels have been placed on 134A systems. These labels tell you which PAG oil to use. These labels can be found on blower housings, fan shrouds, and on the compressor, depending on the vehicle you're servicing. To help you keep them separate, R12 will still be contained in the familiar white container. R134A will be delivered in a blue container. And all line components are now metric, as identified by lines cut into the nut. This will really help you prevent mixing the different AC systems. If you're already familiar with AC systems, you won't have any trouble servicing the 134A types. But there are some new tools that you'll need to use. For example, service valves require a special socket number, J39037. You'll need to use a backup wrench with the socket. Make sure you torque the valves 5 to 7 pound-feet. You'll also need the new J39400 halogen leak detector. The detector can be switched to 3 settings for either R12, R134A, or gross leaks. This unit differs from the type used on earlier R12 systems because it uses a heated diode as its sensor. The sensor heats up to about 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit, so be careful not to use it around combustible materials. Before using this leak detector for the first time, you'll have to calibrate it. Just follow the directions in the operator's manual. The manual has a lot of tips on using the detector correctly. The ACR4 is another tool for servicing the new AC systems. The ACR4 replaces the ACR3 for R134A. This tool not only recharges, but it recovers and recycles refrigerant as well. You can see the new ACR4 is painted environmental green. Before using the unit, make sure you read the setup procedures found in the operating manual. It's no surprise that in 1993, Buick remains the new symbol of quality in America. And I'm sure you'll agree the products slated for the upcoming year hit that Buick level of quality our customers expect. It's a level of quality they can depend on, and a level of quality our service technicians continue to deliver year after year.